I'm Rebecca Dickson. My mother was Fianna Dickson Combs, and this garden is named after her.
Fiona's Healing Garden is a very special place for Renown Regional Medical Center.
Healing gardens have proven over the years to be very therapeutic for both families and for patients. It's pretty significant with its actual gardens, but its sculptures, its water features, its sounds of music and birds in the garden. It's pretty unique.
All of the funds for this were raised in the community.
Certainly, we could not have done this without them.
We got lucky. We finished at the end of March, but we didn't get so lucky in that COVID, this epidemic, came through. So we're having to do this opening virtually.
And hopefully in the future, you can come visit and see it in person.
Fiona was my oldest sister. I had 4 sisters and she was the oldest, and she always had beautiful gardens at her home.
Fiona was asked to come in and help advise on kind of how it should look and feel.
She was a patient here in Renown Regional with ovarian cancer.
And they said, we know you're sick, but could you work on this? She said, I'd love to. Because she had a really strong idea that nature was just an incredibly powerful healing element. And this concept that you could take a stroll out into the garden and feel a little bit better, even if it was for just a few minutes.
Everyone can come and take a stroll and heal at their own pace.
Fiona was a wonderful person and a wonderful sister, and my sister was an inspiration to us.
What she was really most passionate about, I think, was community service. And she served on all kinds of boards throughout the community. So she was very, very devoted to her community. It was kind of a natural fit for her to tie her strong belief in the community and community service to building this thing that she believed really strongly in, which is this element of nature and healing. So she drew a plan and labeled all the plants, and we had the sculptures already underway. So she really gave us a roadmap. And then she died in February of 2008, so she didn't get to see it finished. And they asked me if I would come in and chair a committee to get this thing built. And we were able to open on May 28th of 2009. In about May of 2019, my Uncle Harvey joined the board of Renown, and he said, we think we could finish the back part of the garden that was never finished.
We'll say it's the 2.0 version of Fiona's garden. Unfortunately, due to the unprecedented times, we're coming to you virtually.
We were so fortunate in the new phase of the garden. The Thelma B. and Thomas P. Hart Foundation contributed to a water feature. There's a new meandering path. You can stop in a bench. It's just very soft, and it just has a nice trickle of water, and it's very soothing. And it turned out to be probably one of my favorite spots in the new part of the garden. We have 17 benches, which are the soft yellow, and they don't get too hot in the summer, and you can sit in them. Some were in the original garden, but we've been able to add 4 new ones. They're strewn throughout the gardens, and you'll see the folks that sponsored those as you walk through. We are so thankful to Beth Schuler and the Monroe Schuler Foundation for sponsoring one of our new benches in memory of Beth's parents. We also have private seating areas, and those are a low-form concrete semicircle, so you can pull up to it in a wheelchair. And what was really exciting about this new phase is we added 3. Our first sponsor was the Marie Crowley Foundation. Then we also have the E.L. Cord Foundation, who's also been a sponsor in other parts of the garden. They now have a private seating area. And the last one, the Kelsey Foundation, for our 3rd private seating area. They also have a musical element attached to them, as the other private seating areas do. You might hear some symphonic music, you might hear some birdsong, and those were sponsorships by several donors as well. Wow, this is really exciting to see the E.L. Weekend Pavilion, which is the feature point of the new addition to Fiona's Healing Garden. Programs, spiritual gatherings, meetings, presentations, musical gatherings. We could do almost anything. But in order to make this work, we needed a major sponsor for that. And we reached out to the E.L. Weekend Foundation, in particular, Kristen Avancino, who's the president of the E.L. Weekend Foundation. So Mrs. Avancino came to the garden with me, And as she was looking at the structure, she said, wouldn't it make sense for the back of the pavilion to be a scene of Mount Rose? So we did. It put such a Nevada stamp and resonated with so many people on the pavilion. So we came up with this idea of putting a grass area in front of the pavilion. The Renown Foundation people reached out to Eric Edelstein at the Reno Aces, and they were very, very generous and gave us an outfield. So we now have this beautiful grass area right in front of the pavilion where kids can flop down, adults can flop down, you can sit and have your lunch. Along with my aunt and uncle Harvey and Nancy Fennell, we decided to sponsor a rose garden. There are 20 David Austin rose bushes in there, and they're just starting to bloom. David Geddes, he sponsored the rock that you can sit on, and then we sponsored a bench. And so we actually turned it into a little space where you can walk in and sit and look at roses. The very entrance to the garden now, we have a weeping cherry there, and we've dedicated that to all of the caregivers and some who've lost their lives during this COVID epidemic. We really wanted them to be featured right as you come in the garden. We have a second weeping cherry that's next to the rose garden, which we're pretty excited about, and that's sponsored by Dr. David Smith and his wife Jennifer. We're very grateful to the Enneking family, Jerry and Roxy, who sponsored 2 beautiful pear trees that we got to enjoy as we were building the garden, and next year they'll be blooming for everybody to enjoy. I'm hoping that for Renown, this new addition will be a place to just expand upon what we did 10 or 11 years ago. I think Fiona would have been really tickled to see this. I think she would have been surprised at the effect that this concept she has on people. I mean, I just don't think she would have really anticipated, as we didn't, how much people wanted this space and how much they're engaged in it. I think that would have really surprised her. My sister had a great description of her once. She said that Fiona had a way of taking the hard edges off of things and making things soft. And I think this garden feels that way. When you come in here, you just immediately relax. I think that she was very honored that her name was going to be on the garden, but I don't think that was really what was important to her. I think what was important to her is that people could have the experience that she didn't get to have. Coming out here, spending some time, maybe feeling a little bit better, even if for just a few minutes. I think that's what she would have been happy about. I'm a little upset now, but because it's sad to think that she didn't get to see it. It's just such a labor of love, and everybody who participates feels the same way. For me, it's just such a great opportunity to come out here and make something nice.
I really want to thank the people who have worked on this thing diligently with multiple meetings. Clark & Sullivan was the primary contractor. Dale Cox & Associates was one of the architects. Fennell Purifoy, my brother Tom, was another architect working on the pavilion design. Reno Green Landscaping, Sierra Integrated Systems worked on the lighting and the sound system in here. So we had a number of contractors who really devoted a lot of resources to making this thing happen.
Fiona's Healing Garden would not be able to be what it is today without the support of the community. Thank you to all the donors that have donated to every piece of this Healing Gardens. This is the community project. The community does own this.
We're very grateful to all of our patrons and our sponsors who've participated in Fiona's Healing Garden.